Hi everyone, and welcome back to Rise with Sarah Sincotta. Today I have a very special guest joining us, Kris, who is Head of Sales for Movinghub. So very warm welcome to you, Kris.
Hello, Sarah. How are you?
I'm really well. I am a bit cold today in Melbourne, but it's just so funny, the weather. Like, we've had a couple of great days and then rain again all of a sudden.
Yeah, looking forward to the footy and spring season. Normally, the sunshine comes out at this time of the year, but yeah, the rain has come out this morning, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Kris, for those that do not know you, can you please tell us a bit about Kris and Movinghub and the vision of Movinghub?
Yeah, my background, qualified accountant, for those who don't know, did that for probably 10 years of my corporate life, and then found myself into this business, Movinghub. I've been around for 8 years in this business, and Movinghub's been around for closer to 10. And what we did differently is we went out there with a PropTech technology angle, trying to support partners in all sorts of verticals, real estate, mortgage broking, conveyances, across the globe that we work in, and try and provide a solution to businesses who want to provide more value to their customers, but more importantly, being able to provide value to the consumers when they do move house, not just about connecting utilities. So we've been evolving our product over the years to provide more value both to partners and the consumer.
Yeah, I love that, Kris. And what about Kris outside of Movinghub? What do you love?
I love my footy. Obviously, we've got kids who are fanatics watching the footy and obviously soccer. So A-League season starts soon. AFL season's about to end. So obviously it's a transition from one season to the other. So apart from that, busy lifestyle with 4 kids running around the house and keeping everyone busy.
Yes. Footy season. I do go for Collingwood and was super impressed with the game on the weekend.
You're very lucky to finish top position, and obviously injuries. When it comes to footy clubs, you did see the last few weeks with Collingwood. It was pretty clear cut when you do miss a few plays that your results don't go your way.
Yeah, got to keep going, got to keep moving. It's good.
Right, you've got to find players who can top up those positions.
Yeah. Kris, I've got to know you really well, and the minute that I met with you and you introduced me to Movinghub, I was really impressed. But could you provide the viewers today with an overview of the services that Movinghub offers to, real estate agencies, tenants, and landlords, especially when it comes to connections and other related services?
Absolutely, Sarah. So traditionally, a real estate agency, for example, whether it's in the rental department or the sales department, have always referred to another third-party brand to support their customers, facilitate the utility connections. And obviously what we wanted to do differently is build a tech platform that allowed them to be the hero in the transaction. So if an agency is doing a lot of work to try and acquire those tenants, landlords, to effectively become the home buyer as well, we provide a platform to them. Let's assume it's Sarah Real Estate. You can create Sarah Connect as your brand, as an extension to your core offering. And for your customer, it's about transitioning them from your real estate transaction into a concierge offering pre-move, but also beyond the move, more importantly. And that concierge connect type offer or brand that you create through our technology allows you to offer more services, or perceive that you do offer more services to your customer, rather than losing that brand's continuity that you've built with your customer, and that goodwill value then gets tarnished and reduced. Over the years, what we did found is conversion rate when you do something like this does increase significantly, because the customer has already built that brand within their mind, that the agency's brand, they've had a great service with them. And then all of a sudden, this agency now offering a free complimentary service to, with an array of different categories, whether it's utilities all the way to arranging a removalist, cleaners, and the list goes on. So for us, it was about allowing them to be the hero, as I mentioned earlier, and then the customer then gets that full suite of services, just continuation rather than stopping. And then they go, who the hell is this company? I never heard of them before. And they've got to start that whole process again.
Yeah.
And the whole service to the consumer is absolutely free, complimentary. So they don't pay a cent. We obviously have a marketplace, a full suite of service providers on there. So we're not owned by any energy company or any business who has a direct asset on the back of us generating opportunities. We're independently owned and have done it since day one. And that's how we've obviously been able to generate our growth. And then the customer in that example obviously gets access to a marketplace of providers without any bias towards it, which is somewhat unique these days with regards to the acquisitions that are going on in the market.
Yeah, there's a few things that you just said there, Kris. I just want to recap. So for those watching, is that it is a branded concierge. So even though Movinghub is supporting you with the back end and the tech behind that, but I think it's a really valuable piece when, continuing to improve what the customer experience and journey is like with an office. It's, you don't have to go, Movinghub is now going to contact you. It's very much still affiliated with the business, which I think is phenomenal. The other thing is the platform that you have, like I've obviously seen, and I think it's really easy to use. And especially when it comes to conversion. So what I did find is previously in some other companies or some other agencies I used, it was very much, you need to sell, and you need to have this conversation. Whereas now you've organized a streamlined process so that it's not a sale, it's just an extension of that journey with that customer, which I think is absolutely brilliant. So do you think they are the main parts that differentiate Movinghub from essentially some other similar services in the industry?
Yeah, the biggest part of it is probably over the last few years, we're focused on the customer beyond the move. So while the traditional space is about getting a referral from an agency, whether it's a new rental or a new sales transaction, and they just connect the core utilities, we've invested so much time and effort and resource into supporting the agency to be able to be put in front of that customer beyond the move. So it becomes a lifestyle or a life cycle of that customer, being able to see that customer's brand. And that's what we've been able to differentiate ourselves in the market. And we'll do so very soon with regards to a new product called Homehub. And Homehub's about the brand that the agency is obviously being promoted to the consumer, remains top of mind for that particular customer, whether it's the landlord, the tenant, or the homeowner, beyond the move. And in 6 months' time, the agency has all their branding, all using our engine to reach out to them and bring something up. It might be the ability to do an offer. It could be a bill comparison if they've never engaged with us before. It could be about generating one of the new features that we've got around engagement. And that piece of communication or technology allows the consumer to see the brand again, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That's the critical piece of it all. Because while the transaction ends at power or gas or internet, if someone can engage with the consumer 9 months or 12 months after, and then all of a sudden, my friend's moving house, or my friend's about to look for a property or buy a property, and all of a sudden they might be listing the property, the agency's got a listing automatically because their brand's top of mind with the consumer.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, Kris, especially now, a lot of businesses are looking at, how to refine and define their current service offerings. And a lot of what I'm seeing is having those conversations and how you can continue to add value to not just your landlords, but to your tenants as well. So this is a great place for you and companies to utilize this to continue to add that value. So Kris, I'm going to use an example. So last month, we just got a $1,000 gas bill. And I think I nearly had a heart attack because I've never seen a $1,000 gas bill in my life. And we've got
the same boat as you, Sarah. Same boat. I got the same $1,000 bill. Very first time I received a gas bill for $1,000 for 2 months.
Crazy.
And I nearly fell off there.
Yeah. And now there's a lot of talk about, the cost of living going up. We've notified electricity is now going up. So a lot of people are looking to save money. And so I think it's really good, like what you just said, is people can actually compare and see if they are getting the best deal right now. Because I think a lot of people forget unless they're prompted to review something. So like for me right now, the first thing that I did when I got a $1,000 gas bill is, questioned it first of all. But second of all, looking to see what else was out there and making sure I was getting the best deal. So how do you help tenants or, landlords and the real estate businesses really connect their clients to make sure that they are getting the best deal and value for money?
Every agency's got a database of customers, whether they've engaged with or they've obviously got them in a database. They market to them. While we have a marketplace in the background that helps customers, predominantly move home, it's the same marketplace that we use to help customers save money on their everyday cost of living, such as your power bill or your gas bill, or internet. So in your instance there, Sarah, an agency as a case study or a real life example would say to you, hi, Sarah, just want to know your cost of living's increased. As you know, we have this new solution by Sarah Save and Connect, for example. And you would drive that customer into the Movinghub backend, effectively, which will be the branded front end of the agency. You would either upload your gas bill, or you could use one of the other options that are available using the tech. And that tech sits on the agency's website. So that's where the agency's brand becomes the hero all the time. It's just using our engine to effectively read the bill and provide an alternative, if there is one, for the consumer to save money. And within a few minutes, they could switch to a cheaper provider and ultimately save them money long term. So those solutions are there. And if you think of the Beyond the Move piece, this is a perfect example as to how we provide tools to customers, whether they engage or not with us. So if they don't engage with us, then the agency can promote all these services such as this. But if they've got a database of customers, and they know the cost of living is increasing, like yourself, Sarah, then absolutely you can promote the bill comparison solution that we have available to them, and everyone wins. There's a reward that we provide the agency, the customer wins because they're on a better deal, and obviously from a customer perspective, it's great experience for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just going back to that experience, you are really, supporting a tenant and a landlord with their journey and creating that extra value and helping them throughout that experience, because moving homes is stressful, right? Like, it is a very stressful time for a lot of people. And although we are very good at sharing, yes, we've just got this amazing result and we've got these amazing tenants move in, or we've just helped this amazing landlord, we want to continue to be able to help them. So what challenges do you typically see when it comes to real estate businesses and coordinating utility connections for their clients?
The biggest piece that we find is, sometimes we find out a lot that agencies are doing the thing process manually. They're leaving their current CRMs or their trust accounting systems. They go into other platforms and they're spending a few minutes typing in data that's already in another system. And a lot of the staff aren't engaged by having to double enter data and do it all over again to refer to a company. So what we've done well is we've been able to integrate well with a lot of platforms, whether it's trust accounting platforms, sales CRMs, or other platforms in the prop tech space, to make the life of a property manager or anyone in the sales team's life much easier. Whether it's clicks of buttons, there's consent and marketing that goes towards it by the agency, but from a referral perspective, the process is much more efficient. And obviously we've got into this space and it's evolved over the years. But more importantly, things like water in Victoria, predominantly, it does get missed by a lot of competitors, and we do get feedback from people that come over to Movinghub and say, oh, we've got all these bills that go to landlords because they forgot to pass the water or didn't do the water. And obviously from a back end perspective, we've got a pretty detailed process in the background to make sure that the water does get processed, regardless of a transaction being monetized or not. It's something that we do and add value. And then the other one's the data around meter numbers, of access to connecting the right meter numbers and the right addresses and things like that. So processes like that is, the support sometimes is a new build that data isn't there, but we'll obviously do the best we can with the data that we've got available to us. And then in the event that we need some support, we'll obviously reach out to our partners, and if they can support us with any missing variables or data, then it's obviously going to help the customer and then provide that great experience again.
Yeah, amazing. And Kris, apart from the main ones that we've spoken about, like gas, electricity, and water, what are the other services that Movinghub can help with?
Yeah, so we've got access to pre and post move services. So cleaning and removalist are services that get taken up pre the move. And then obviously for a landlord or a homeowner, we've got access to things like solar installs. There's energy efficiency solutions. We've got access to storage, locksmiths, maintenance. We've got access to a trade network, mortgage brokers. And the benefit of all these categories that I'm talking about, Sarah, is a partner can choose what services they want to promote to its customers. So if you are a mortgage broker, for example, then you don't need to offer finance, for example. But there might be services where an agency wants to offer a full suite of services, and we can do end to end to be able to facilitate the pre and post move service to the customer.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And Kris, I guess, the real estate industry is ever evolving. And we've got, especially, in Vic, we've got talk now about the natural gases 2024. How do you think that's going to impact around utility, and where do you see potentially investors moving from, natural gas and looking at other ways to make sure that their homes are safe so that everything is smooth sailing? What do you think will happen there?
Yeah, I think the energy efficiency side of things is obviously a growing trend that has been over the years. And I think you'll find a lot of houses now, solar's obviously, batteries are getting big, even cars and the EV side of things. So I think you're going to find more and more with regards to more pressure being put on those energy efficiencies. And while the electricity bill will go up, the only way you can offset that is by investing into the long-term investment of that property. And that means that the landlord will need to potentially have these items available to reduce the cost of living for the tenant moving in. But from a homeowner perspective, if you're going to live there for 10 years and you believe you're going to live there for 10 years, it makes sense to invest in your products that are out there in market. There's obviously drought or draft things that are obviously out there in market as well. There's obviously so many products in there. Light globes and things like that, amongst the batteries and the solar are probably the two biggest and most expensive items that you'll need to invest in.
Yeah. And I think you just made a really good point, Kris, about energy efficiency. It's now looking at ways, to help renters as well with the costs associated to the home, and to, bring that cost down, and just to make sure that, where we are having really good standard properties available. And this is to, any sales agents watching as well, is like all of these small things that we can do to contribute to better enhance the property and make sure that it's doing well, that it's safe, that it's energy efficient. I think we're going to see more and more people wanting these things now, that instead of, it's a need, I think they will really want to have these features in a property. So I think I can see that definitely a big factor coming out. And then, solar panels, and really looking at the longevity and the investment of having that property and the experience then for, let's just say, a tenant, or if they're going to sell the property, increase value as well. Do you agree with that?
Well, and then think products like your hot water services. Obviously, a lot of them are gas installed. So those obviously would reduce, and they'll replace with electric hot water units. You've got heat pumps. If you've got swimming pools and they're like for if you're in that homeowner space, then the heat pumps then become another opportunity to be able to warm the pool up, for example. But also that removes the likelihood of gas being installed to warm up through gas, because that won't be an option. So people will start to need to think differently, and obviously cost efficient as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what is Movinghub looking to incorporate in the future? Do you have any ideas of where the business is going to be heading, how you can support real estate agencies even further?
Yeah, so we're continuing to invest. So in terms of the model and obviously the geographic locations we're in, so we are obviously based in Australia, as you know, Sarah, but New Zealand, we've got a massive footprint over in NZ and have been there for quite some time. UK has been a region we've been in for probably the last 3 or 4 years, and that's obviously a big business of ours over in the UK. And then in the US is another market that we've got, which we've built over the last number of years as well. So there's a lot of opportunities in those markets to produce more services. And that's obviously where having access to 4 regions and learning what's out there, what demand is out there for agencies, allows us to continue to innovate our product. And that's the new evolution of our new product called Homehub, which is the evolution of the Beyond the Move piece. And Homehub will allow the agency to remain connected with the customer, but also being able to have a property that's linked to the owner, for example, the landlord or the tenant, that they can maintain a digital footprint for the rest of that history of that property. And also, more importantly, the agency stays on top of because it's all branded them in terms of the product that they get access to.
Yeah, I think that's great. And Kris, what advice would you give to any real estate businesses that are considering forming a partnership with a utility company for their customer service experience?
Yeah, I think more importantly, just do your due diligence. There's many businesses in our space that say they do the same thing as everyone else, and without pinpointing any businesses, people will say they do the same thing as that company that you're with, and whether you're trying to retain or require, a lot of conversion rates get thrown up in the air, and I hear, we converted 80 to 90%, and they don't convert well, and these numbers get thrown up in the air, and a lot of it's fluff just to try and win business. But the only thing you can worry about is, what service level do you get access to? Do you get your own account manager? Do you get your own support team? Are all the staff employed by the same company and nothing's outsourced? And every time there's ever an issue, someone, you can pick up the phone and message someone through an omni-channel approach, whether it's chat, whether it's a phone call or an email, and you get responded to within a timely manner. And that's obviously some of the feedback that we get is, a lot of partners give us they just vent and go, we've been with this business, or we've been with this business for a very long time. Service is lacking, something's changed, or we can't get access to the people. But when we have an issue and things like that, and we're waiting days, and we're always following them up, not the other way around. So for us, it's about, do your due diligence. How big's the panel as well? So, as I said earlier, Movinghub's got an array of providers that a customer can choose from. We're not, going to sell one product because we're owned by that company, and that's something very important. What experience does the agency want to give its customer?
Mm-hmm.
If they care about their customer, they're obviously going to think about all these things I've just mentioned. Customer experience, the panel of providers, what products are they going to be sold? Is it in the best interest of the customer? Is it, or is it just about just making money and taking a check up front or anything like that? So little things like that, agencies do get washed up sometimes by going, I believe everything I say. But for us, it's about, the feedback we would give is just do your due diligence on the business before you make any decision.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kris, I think you made a really good point. And one thing that I really do love about Movinghub is that you do have multiple providers. It's not just one, because I think the real estate industry gets, slammed quite a lot anyway. And I think, we just want to do the best for our clients. And I don't believe personally that just offering one supplier is the best option for all of our clients. So I think it's just a reflection on, I guess, the values of Movinghub, and then to align with our business values of, we're here to provide that right customer service. We want to get the best outcome and solution for every single person. So I think that is a massive point of difference. And anyone watching this, just go have a look at the Google reviews, because, everyone has given feedback there as well, Kris. And I think it's amazing, the testimonials that the company is receiving. So I think that is really amazing. So to ensure a smooth process and integration happens, so let's just say someone's thinking, okay, we want to explore Movinghub, we like what Kris got to say, we like the values of the business, what do you think they should do to ensure that smooth transition in partnering with Movinghub?
Yeah, it's just ask the question. So obviously when they obviously want to explore the partnership further, as I said, you can do your due diligence, whether it's us or anyone else, and then obviously go online. And as you said, Sarah, Google and Facebook, they do tell a story, and for our perspective, we're nothing to hide. Everything's transparent, and then ask questions. Booking a time with one of us in the team, and we'll go through scenarios. We'll provide case studies. We'll provide products that we can provide you, and the value that you can bring to your customers. And most importantly, what rewards that we can give, not only to you as a business, but anything across the office, and how we could share those rewards and incentivize the team to be able to do more, and effectively, from our perspective, ensuring that your customer stays connected to you as the brand.
I love that. Stay connected to you with the brand. I love it. Kris, while you're on, I just want to thank Movinghub for being an affiliate partner for Rise. Much appreciated. And for anyone who's coming to the BDM Summit on the 12th of October, you'll get to actually meet Kris in person and can ask him lots of questions. I'll also provide Kris's details in the channel so that you can connect with Kris directly. But Kris, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I think it's food for thought, especially right now, with a lot of businesses wanting to create that extra value, really look at the customer journey and that experience they've got for their tenants and their landlords. So I think, anyone who really just wants to make a difference and do the right thing for their clients, definitely get in touch with Kris. But thanks so much, Kris, for jumping on today.
Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate it. Hope the weather improves.
Me too. And in true Sarah Sincotta style, everyone, keep rising. Thank you.